Hey everybody, how are you? I am coming at you live from right off of a trail where I like to go running a couple times a week. I obviously have just been doing that, so please pardon my sweaty appearance. I'm a mess. I just came to this really beautiful spot. I kind of like to stop by every so often and just kind of cool down, especially with it being as hot as it is outside today. Here, let me show you. It's beautiful, right? Okay, so I felt compelled to come on here because, um, I was running and I was thinking about flow, right? I think that's what I hope to get into every time I'm out on the trails. And it was my first time back after probably about 4 weeks. I've been injured, and I had been injured for a while, and I kept running with this injured hip. And thinking that I was just going to push through the pain and it would go away. But I kept injuring myself further and ended up actually like injuring my toe as well. And so I had to stop. And I was thinking about this today because I was like, oh wow, I took 4 weeks off and all of a sudden my hip feels perfectly fine. And I might need some new tennis shoes, but my toe is healing, but I can handle the slight pain of that now that everything else feels good. And was thinking about, gosh, so obviously there's a reason when we are made to slow down, because I felt like like I was being punished, like we often do, and then had to remind myself that it's not happening to me, it's happening for me. um, and so I was thinking about, well, what was it that I accomplished in this time, this slow period, this, where I couldn't really get my high vibes from going out and running, because that's what it does for me. It not only keeps me in shape, but I really do it because it just makes me feel good, makes my heart feel good, my body feel good, but it makes my soul sing. And I was thinking, okay, well, I was forced to tap in to other things and to use other facets of self, um, to kind of raise my vibration to be where I want to be every day. Um, so really what it did was it forced me to find other tools, utilize other things, and utilize other parts of myself to connect to spirit, connect to the divine, and connect to my own divinity. So in saying all of that, I think that's really what the message is today. That sometimes when we are forced to let go of things, even if it's temporary, sometimes permanent, um, we can sit in a space, in a place where like we lose that momentum, like there's that inertia anymore of that thing that we were doing that was keeping us going forward, keeping us getting out of bed every day. And sometimes that, like, just having that taken away and not having a solid mental foundation means that we can like lose our footing, and we can sort of like fall and start sitting in this like low vibe place of victimization, self-victimization, or just feeling sorry for yourself, or wasting the day away, like waiting for that thing to come back around, right? um, when all the while there are infinite amounts of things out there for us to use, to help us, tools that we can use to help us connect to ourselves, and again to our own divinity, and to God or our ancestors, our guides. Um, Meditation absolutely is one of those. I bring that up so much in my videos because I just will never stop touting the fact that meditation is the best medicine. And for me, I have ADHD. I'm pretty neurodivergent. I don't like to hop into those boxes with those labels, but I have those symptoms, and they can be quite intense sometimes. So that was another thing. I was like, how am I going to wear myself out every day? Because I don't take medicine. I don't do the pharmaceutical thing. Um, and so I know that I'm not the only person that deals with this stuff. Obviously not. We all do, as beautiful souls having a human experience. And so in my own personal experience, I had years ago gotten into yoga when I got sober from alcohol because I had to replace that habit with something healthier, right? And then, like, through the years, I got back into running because I wanted to stop smoking cigarettes. So I stopped that habit and replaced it with something healthier that obviously, if I'm a cigarette smoker, running is not going to be um easy to get back into. So, I was thinking, what can I do? So I actually went back towards yoga, and really found my passion for that again. And in doing that, I managed to stretch and work out the injury in my hip, which created the wellness and the space to get back to it. And so here I am at the park today, right? So it really reconnected me with something that I had forgotten I was so in love with. And not only that, talk about raising your vibration. Like, there is such thing as a yoga glow. But even in terms of utilizing tools that aren't so physical, right? And like meditation, there was a connection I was trying to make there. Oh, if you're not, if you have a hard time being still, because cultivating stillness is a practice and that takes a lot of time. So starting a meditation, like traditional meditation practice, and getting into that practice oftentimes can take quite a while. You start with a couple minutes a day and you sort of increase from there. But sometimes, it's just not your thing. And so, like yoga and running or walking, these are active forms of meditation. Adult coloring is an active form of meditation. It really is. Anything that you can do to clear your head, clear your mind, and get quiet so that your higher guidance can come into you. It's so vast what the options are out there. I met a mom and her son Milo just a few minutes before I started this video, and he's so cute. He's so loud playing in the background. He wanted to sit where I'm sitting, and I was like, well, come on, or give me 5 minutes and I'll be gone. I'm just winding down from my run. Anyway, yeah, it's like really cool, right? Yeah. Yeah. Um, even just 2 years ago or 1 year ago, I would have viewed their presence as interference in what I'm trying to do. And now it's just a totally different game, a totally different planet that I live on because of meditation, because of active meditation, because I've taken the time to cultivate these practices. I feel like this message is a little all over the place, starting with flow and then going into spiritual practices, which I have a tendency to talk a lot about. And I think that's because they've really they've saved my life. They really have. Implementing these practices every day. And when I say like establish a routine, I mean, for some people, doing it at the same exact time every single day is imperative, and it's easier to do once it's like that system is put in place. Having these ADHD symptoms and having, all like spectrum-y type symptoms as well. Sometimes having like a daily routine that's like stays pretty solidly the same is impossible for me, because I don't know from day to day what I'm going to wake up, how I'm going to wake up feeling and what the symptoms are going to be. How my gut health is going to be, things like that. And most of us don't. And a lot of us are walking around having these symptoms, of distraction and focus issues, or like hypersensitivity some days to energy that causes irritation or just makes us have to be alone. Or we're injured. Like, there are all these things that come up in life that threaten to stop us in our tracks when all we're trying to do is move forward. So I guess the message really is that being in the flow is not one size fits all. It never will be. Being in the flow is what works for you in that moment, and figuring out what tools you have in your toolbox, and if you don't, what tools you would like to cultivate and put in your toolbox. What things are the most helpful for you, or what are the things that keep coming around in your awareness that sound fun to try, like rock climbing, or if there's like a climbing spot in town you can like go and practice at, or Even getting like a library card and like trying to like kind of cultivate that stillness enough to start, a reading practice. Maybe like, that is a good idea. I know in this last week that created the space for me to get back to like cooking in my own kitchen and meal prepping for myself again, which I had definitely gotten away from. So that's allowing me to even save some money. And I mean, I'm a recovering chef, I call myself. And I do I work for myself in that field. But, cooking for myself, like, I got away from it. And so I created the limiting belief that because I've done it for a living for so long um, that I don't enjoy it at home. The reality of it is that I love cooking, no matter if it's for me or for somebody else. I really enjoy it. But I had put a limiting belief on myself just because that inertia stopped. And then those negative ideas and beliefs creep in. So, I think it's really just important if your flow changes, your routine changes, your systems have to change because life is changing for you, or you're injured, right? Or something happens, um, that it's okay. Like, being rigid is a dream killer, just like overthinking, just like all those things. It's just important that you have the tools in your toolbox so that you can just go, okay, well, this has got to be shelved for a little bit or maybe forever, who knows. But I have all of these other things. So let me pull this tool out. Let me pull this thing out and put this thing in that thing's place. So the inertia, the momentum doesn't stop, right? Because when we give uh, the inertia time to stop, our momentum time to stop, a lot of times, and we don't replace it with something healthy and something good for us, and also something that we love to do, or something that at least it's like unique and fun and new to learn, we create the space for depression and anxiety and overthinking and for old habits to creep back in. Like, I found myself, I got a pack of American Spirits, I put them in my freezer, and I wasn't smoking all day long, but I was like, just because I can't run doesn't mean that I get to pick back up this habit again. What is going on? But it was that easy. I mean, it was really that easy. And so, like, I noticed today I'm running and I was like, okay, I'm going to have to expand my lungs again. I mean, I could tell. I could really tell. And I didn't like really fully smoke the whole pack of cigarettes over the course of this last month, but enough. And so it's like, it's just that easy for that old crap to sneak back in and sneak up on you and then become your habit. And then where's your momentum going from that point? Are you going to start drinking again? Are you going to, whatever it is that you do? But, that, whatever that coping mechanism is, so it's just really, really easy for those things to like come back in if we're not, I don't want to say hyper vigilant, but if we're not just vigilant about it and like really understanding that flow means being radically accepting in every moment, and then just being fun and open and curious about how we can shape our flow and shape our days to keep that positive forward motion going. And that doesn't mean always being hyper productive, always moving all the time, blah, blah, blah. No, not at all. Like I said, maybe reading is something that you want to get back into. I don't know whoever this collective is for. I feel like you had some massive shakeup in your life, and there's been like some trouble sort of getting jump started again. And maybe this is just inspiration. I had to be my own inspiration today. I had to like really talk myself into this, but my guides kept saying, no, you're going to be fine. Like, your hip is good, you're healed, you're ready to go do it. And then I was called to stop and make this video, and I got to stop at one of my favorite spots here. It's just gorgeous. And meet a lovely kiddo. Hi, Milo. I'm sure you'll never see this, but you are precious. Anyway, I'm going to get back headed home. Milo was telling me that there are several deer that are eating, and they're so beautiful, all wide-eyed. I love it. This place is a beautiful place. The most domesticated animals ever for like wildlife. It's kind of weird. Anyway, I hope everybody's having a fabulous day. If you've made it this far, you can give me a like, comment, whatever, don't, it doesn't matter. I'm just happy to be able to come on here. I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy just to be happy, you know? It's a good freaking day to be alive. Let's go Lionsgate. Let's go full moon energy. Let's do this shit, all right? I am here being your cheerleader, just coming on sharing my personal experiences and encouraging you to do the same thing. All right, we need your voice, we need your energy, we need your stories, we need your testimonies. Hell yeah, we need you to share your gifts with the world. We all do. We are waiting for you. And we want to know what your tools are. What do you use that help you get through your day and keep that forward momentum going so that you want to jump out of bed every morning? And if you don't want to jump out of bed, you at least are capable and able of getting out of bed every day, because everybody's so unique and different and so creative. I can't wait to see new faces on all these platforms coming on here and expressing themselves in just the way that they are, in just this beautiful, authentic way. It is time. There is no need to be scared. Let's go, collective. All right. I love you all so much. Until next time, adios.